Welcome to the video lecture on Programming in C. In the last lecture, I introduced the concept of variables. In this lecture, I will discuss the types of variables. We have seen that we can declare variables of different data types. Besides the data types, variables can be categorized into two types based on their place of declaration. The first type is the local variables, which are variables declared inside a particular function in the program. The second type is the global variables, which are variables declared outside all the functions and are not confined to any particular function. The two variables differ on their scope and lifetime. I will explain the meaning and difference between scope and lifetime of variables. First, let us understand the meaning of scope of a variable. Scope is the range of accessibility or visibility of something. Take the example of a remote control of a television. It operates using infrared light. A remote control can control a TV which is in the same room, since it requires being in the line of sight. So you can't go to another room and try to control the TV. We can say that for a remote control, the scope of accessibility is within the same room. Now consider a cordless phone. It uses radio signals to connect to the base unit. Unlike the remote control, it has a longer range of accessibility, so even if we move into another room, it still works. We can say that its scope is entire home and across all the rooms. Like a remote control, a local variable is accessible and visible only within the function in which it is declared. We can't use it from any other function. In this example, the variable var is declared inside the main function, so it can be accessed within the main function. But if we try to access it from another function, then compiler will throw an error message saying that var is not declared. So local variables are declared and used within a particular function. On the other hand, a global variable is accessible and visible all over the program and from all the functions of the program. A variable is made global by declaring it outside of all the functions. Generally, we declare global variables above the main function. In this example, the variable var is not declared within any function, and so it is a global variable. It is visible and accessible to all the functions. Now we can access it both from the main function and also from the callMe function. Because global variables are common to all the functions, any change made on their value by one function is visible to all other functions. The second aspect of variables is their lifetime. Lifetime is about how long something is usable or when will it expire. For example, if you buy a bus ticket, then it is only valid until you step out of the bus at the destination stop. Even if you have to take the same bus again next day, you need to buy a new ticket. But if you buy a bus pass, then it is valid for the entire month and you can keep using it multiple times within the month. Lifetime of local variables is like the bus ticket. They only exist in memory until the function is under execution. Memory is allocated to local variables only at the moment when control enters the function for its execution. and the memory of local variables is removed when control leaves the function after its execution. If the same function gets executed again, new set of memory locations will be allocated for the local variables. But global variables have a longer lifetime and they persist in memory for the entire duration of the program's execution. In this example, VAR is declared as global variable by declaring it not inside any function. So the memory for VAR is allocated when the program begins to run, and the memory remains with the VAR until the program completes its execution after executing all the functions. Having understood the differences between local variables and global variables, the important point is how to choose between them and which one should we prefer while writing programs. Because global variables are accessible from the entire program, it is easier to write programs using global variables, but global variables occupy memory for a longer period, so we should restrict their usage in our programs. Only when it is essential, we should make use of global variables. On the other hand, local variables release their memory as soon as their function's execution is over, so they are better when it comes to memory utilization. An additional benefit of local variables is that since their scope is limited to the function in which they are declared, we can reuse the variable names in multiple functions, but we can't name more than one global variable with the same name.